Hey guys, it's CJ over at AirDog. Today we're doing another employee vehicle showcase. We're going to be showing you my newest build, Penny. If you guys aren't familiar, we have a couple of these videos posted. We have one of Kevin's Shorty as well, and I believe we have two of my other gray truck, Callie. So definitely take a look at our YouTube channel and then we'll get you up to speed on Penny. So as you guys are familiar with at this point, I'm a big second gen fan. Kevin had built his Shortbed previously. Another friend, Dylan, who used to work here, he built one. So I've always kind of been on the look for a good candidate to swap. So always kind of keeping an eye out. Well, Kevin found a good deal on Facebook Marketplace. So it was a 2001 Dodge 1500. So it is a true half-ton truck. It was a base model. At that point, it had a V8 swapped in it, but factory it was a V6. They were having issues getting it running right, so I was able to pick it up on a good deal, brought it home, and then kind of started this whole transformation. To start with, I tried to keep the gas engine, fix it, try to figure it out, but ultimately I knew it was going to come out. So after it stranded me once, went ahead and pulled the motor and trans out, sold that. Kevin come over and helped me. We did a 3/6 drop on it, so it's got a 3-inch diesel lowering spring in the front from Beltec, and then it's got an axle flip, so it's a 6-inch drop in the rear. After that, began assembling or getting together the parts needed to swap this. So the whole plan with this truck is to be budget friendly. That's why I named it Penny. So I actually traded some labor for a lot of the parts on this truck. So my buddy his dad had a 2002 Dodge that had been sitting for a lot of years. So I got firewall forward of that truck. So I actually did a Hydro Boost swap on this as well. Got me all of the wiring needed, because in this swap you have to change the complete engine bay harness. You have to get the engine harness off the engine itself, obviously the ECM, PCM. Everything firewall forward of this truck is going to be a diesel. Once I actually removed the engine from that truck, I discovered that water had gotten in it, locked 5 and 6 hole up. So kind of was weighing out my options. I actually parted out a lot of the stuff off of that engine, and had a buddy up in Michigan that had a long block for sale. So used the money from that parts engine basically to help fund the new engine. So went up and got that. Was out of a running truck that had frame rust, obviously being in Michigan. So picked that up, brought it home, got it all resealed, repainted. Actually worked with my friends over at ARP. They wanted to put together an engine dress-up bolt kit for this, so measured and spec'd out every bolt in this engine except for 4 that they didn't offer is going to be 12-point polished stainless ARP hardware. So it was pretty cool to work with them on that. And then again, being a spare parts build, I used the injectors that were out of my gray truck. I did go 6.7 in that truck. Eventually we'll do an update video on that, but it left me with 6x13s. So I used those 6x13s in this. Kevin had a 6265 off of his Shortbed, so he got me a good deal on that. Just something to put together for now. I do eventually probably want to upgrade, but it drives extremely nice now. I just know those injectors are a lot for it. Originally I had a Quadzilla on it that was left over from my truck. I have since swapped to an Edge Comp 2.0, so it's got that new Edge box on it. In the transmission side of things, you're going to hear Kevin mention a lot in this. He was really helpful in this. He actually had a couple transmissions that we basically put together to be a core. Went over to Fire Punk, worked with them. Became really good friends with those guys over there. So basically put together a street and track transmission for this, so a pretty solid little trans in it. So basically working engine forward, pretty mild setup, got a good trans in it. Rear end is completely stock at this point. I know that's a big question for people when they talk about these swaps is, will the rear end take it? To be truthful, this one's still even an open diff. I do have plans, I have all the parts ordered, have an axle bought from a buddy. I'm going to do a 3rd gen half-ton axle swap in this, so it'll still be 5 lug, still be a 9 1/4, gets me disc brakes. I plan to do Yukon upgraded shafts, Yukon upgraded differential, so it'll be a limited slip. But still fairly budget. I picked the axle up super cheap. They're very well priced in their parts, so still kind of keeping the budget thing. Where it goes a little astray is why I'm there. I might as well upgrade it. So I'm going to do an anti-roll bar. I got a TRZ under axle anti-roll bar, cow track set up for it. So hopefully going to be doing that probably in the off season. This is my daily, so I do plan on, you know, enjoying it the rest of the summer, but get to that, you know, here in the future. So basically up to this point, I have the engine all together. I have, you know, the trans ready to go. I went ahead and redid all the wiring harnesses on this truck. Opened up all the factory loom, cleaned it, re-loomed it. Actually did some really cool stuff. So there was some blank spots in the factory fuse box. I actually integrated my AirDog 165's relay and fuse directly in the stock fuse box, as well as the trans cooler. So this has a derail trans cooler utilizing the fire punk mounts. Tucked it up nice and tight in the bedside. I made a custom AirDog mount as well. So basically the driver's side, inner front bedside, the AirDog is mounted, and then the passenger side is gonna have that trans cooler set up. So got all that wiring done. And then at that point, I just wasn't happy with the interior. So it was a base model crank window. Basically same thing like my gray truck was. So I started getting the parts together to get the interior swapped to power. Me and Kevin went to pull apart, found a donor harness. So got that, got the dash pulled out, got the vinyl floors pulled out. So basically got all that swapped. I actually had a spare cab that I forgot I even owned. So I was able to rob the door parts out of. So again, all budget, spare part stuff. So swapped the door regulators, everything like that. Got the wiring in, got a new dash from LMC and dash bezel. One thing I did splurge on a little bit is I do like listening to my music. So while I was there, I did a 5-channel Kenwood amp. Has all kicker speakers. Unfortunately, I can't do a whole lot more than that due to the shallow mounting depth of the door speakers. If you're a second gen guy, you know. And then a kicker L7 shallow truck box behind the seat. So all real nice and clean. We'll show you a little bit about that here you know, when we get into the interior. But also did a CarPlay radio. Again, this is my daily driver. Nice to have, you know, maps on the radio, everything like that. Also, while we were at Pull Apart, we found an extremely clean truck there. I was able to get the carpet out of. So got carpet, got that cleaned. Facebook Marketplace me a set of seats in pretty good shape. So at this point, it's basically like a full SLT interior. So once I got basically, you know, powertrain, everything swapped in, had the interior right, ready to go, I kind of started working on the exterior appearance of the truck. This truck was from Alabama. While it is extremely clean, it's not necessarily extremely nice. It has some dingers, got some dents, had some checked up paint. So I found a blue hood, swapped on there, took it to Hudson McDonald, a local boy here to us. He was able to buff it up, get it all cleaned up for me. Picked up a set of wheels from a 3rd gen half ton off Facebook Marketplace. I liked the style of them and the fitment, and then picked up some tires. So I was a big 420S fan. Nitto did me dirty, discontinued them, but I found somebody on eBay that basically has the same mold. So picked up a set of those tires for it. So you got my, you know, buffed, cleaned up, got the hood swapped, got my wheels and tires. Another thing is this truck had primer bumpers. So I was able to find a nice chrome front bumper, added the fog light wiring, all functions as factory. And then I did a paint mash roll pan on this truck. Being that it's lowered, I wanted to go to a roll pan, just gives it that better look. Got a tonneau cover put on it, just the small supporting mods that, you know, all that you guys do to your trucks. Picked up headlights, taillights, LED swapped it, those kind of things. So now that you guys have sat here and listened to me talk for the better part of gotta be 5 to 7 minutes, let's get this thing pulled out, show you what it is. I'm pretty proud of it. Like I said, it's not extremely nice, but a very clean truck. My gray truck got to the point where it was too nice that I didn't want to drive it, go to dinner, worried about somebody door dinging it. This thing, I plan to put miles on it, want to road trip it. So perfect, you know, for what I was wanting to do. So as we're sitting here, we're about to go get some nice roller clips for you. There's so much going on this build that, you know, I kind of forget some things. Why we did the interior, I did a custom wrapped headliner. It matches the stock gate color. Integrated a microphone directly into the A-pillar. Intentionally, this truck still kept the auto PCM, so this was to remove my torque management. I swapped to a manual PCM to get rid of that. But just small things like that make this thing, everything works. I mean, we're sitting here in the AC, it's hot. Everything on this truck works. Cruise control works. Another thing we failed to really hit on is this truck does utilize the anteater. I made a nice little trim piece in my dash bezel that holds the anteater as well as the little edge control pod. I really wanted function over everything on this thing, whatever it took to make things work. Got the factory fog lights. Everything works as it should. We're power mirrors now. This truck was base model when it came from the factory, which you literally would not know. Unless I told you, or obviously you know because you're watching, you'd have no idea. We still have, you know, auto windows, door locks, everything. Everything functions as would be stock.